Listen to this podcast now
on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Leadership Thread with Dr. Peggy Polonis.
I'm Dr. Peggy Polonis. Join me on each episode where I unravel the story that shaped leaders, tracing the thread that led them where they are today. Because leadership isn't born in adulthood. And thank you once again for joining us on the Leadership Thread, education, ethics, and sustainability.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform. The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And good evening, everyone, on this Sunday night. Dominic Carter here with you. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. See your calls already coming in. The number to reach us live from the 11 p.m. until 1 a.m. this morning, 800-848-9222. So before I get to the topics, I do want to say thank you to the New York State Conservative Party. I was one of their speakers at their conference in Albany. It was wonderful. Saw pollster John McLaughlin, many people there. Thank you to the state chairman, Jerry Kassar. If you get a chance, if you want to see what my comments were, just go to my Twitter, at Dominic TV. One of the write-ups is there at the top of the page. And it will tell you that I only know one way, full speed ahead, no chaser, no, just give it to you straight. And that's exactly what I did, and that's what the write-up says. At Dominic TV on Twitter and X, you can find the article there of what I had to say in Albany just a short time ago. If only former New York City Mayor John Lindsay was alive, Mamdani could talk to Lindsay, and Mayor Lindsay would tell him the blizzard of 1969 not only paralyzed New York City for 3 days, but it nearly ended Mayor Lindsay's political career. New Yorkers, you don't take well to snow being left on the streets, piled up everywhere days later. New York City, dare I say it, because it's true, especially in the outer boroughs, even in Manhattan, even in the mayor's neighborhood on the Upper East Side near Gracie Mansion, looks like the 1970s. This is Mamdani's New York. The number continues to go up. Now, 14 people died outdoors during the recent storm, blizzard, whatever you want to call it, and Mamdani admitting hypothermia played a role in most of the cases, in at least 8. They died outdoors. That's not all. That's not all from your socialist mayor. Over the weekend, he announced the first. You know what? Let me back this up. Over the weekend, he announced 5 appointments in one day, including the city's new corrections commissioner to handle Rikers Island. And this guy should be really good at it because he was formerly incarcerated. So you heard me right. To stabilize New York City's jail system and help kickstart a stalled plan to close the detention centers on Rikers Island, all under the eye of a court-appointed manager, Mamdani has named Stanley Richards to lead the Department of Correction. At a press conference Saturday afternoon, the move puts Richard in charge of the same Rikers Island jails where he once served 2.5 years on robbery charges in the 1980s. So you see, Mamdani issued the trial balloon. If you recall, during his transition period, he put the guy with a criminal record on his one of his transition teams. And he had did time for robbery, I think armed robbery. So it was a trial balloon, a test for now. So the man in charge of city jails did 2.5 years for robbery. It's the world we live in. But you know what? And I'm not going to say I told you so. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to mention candidates. I'm not going there. I'm not going to talk about one of the candidates is peep quiet. You don't hear anything from him. I wonder why. They say what was done in the dark shall come to light. Isn't that the saying? I'm just saying, folks, don't blame the messenger. I'm not focusing on any of the candidates. Not doing it. Whatever's in the dark shall come to light. Remember that. New Yorkers are fed up. Even the ones that voted for Mamdani, they're fed up. Buyer's remorse. Protesting nighttime outside New York City Hall.
That's right, we know about your mom. Now listen, we was with you, Zoran. We voted for you, Zoran. We advocated for you, Zoran. We advocated for you. You ain't getting up and get up in there and lie to us. You lied, Zoran. Shame, Zoran.
Shame! Shame!
The first line was CCRB, Zoran.
Shame!
CCRB had the final say, Zoran.
Shame!
Well, you wanted him. You got him. But you can't send him back. He doesn't have the experience. He's showing it every day. He's 34 years old. He doesn't know anything. But he's cute. He sounds good. You know, whatever. 800-848-9222. Michael Rappaport, the actor and comedian, took to the streets in colorful language. And you don't have to listen to him. There are videos all over social media, including with council members spitting mad because the streets of New York City look like the 1970s.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. This poor bastard ain't getting out until the spring. Look at this. Dirt a week after the snowstorm. Look at this dirty shit hole. Look at this. I don't know what this guy's gonna do. This guy, call your insurance company. Look at this dirt. Where's the mayor? Clean this up. They got garbage everywhere. Dirty snow. What do you do with this? Where's your shovel now, Mamdani? Look at this. You know how many people fall, break their ankles? Look at this. This is New York. Start spreading the news. And this is on the Upper East Side. 3 minutes from where the mayor lives. Look at this guy. Look at this. Look at this. This guy's never getting. Look at this. Look at this. It's the reality of New York City. 1 month. Where's the salt? Where's the shovels? Where's the plows? Bullshit, fake. Look at this. Look at this. This is a great look for New York. Look at it. This guy's never getting out. His car's destroyed. This poor bastard with his motor scooter.
So, Michael Rappaport, all you have to do is walk around Manhattan, go to the outer boroughs. New York City looks like the 1970s. But hey, I guess that's exactly what a socialist wants, right? We're going backwards. You wanted him. You got him. Oh, let's look into the future. He's young, fresh blood. Let's see what happens. 800-848-9222. We see your calls coming in. We'll get to them momentarily. But the weather is the least of the problems, excluding if you're one of those 14 people that died outdoors. Saturday, Mamdani announced 5 new members of his administration. Okay. Stanley Richards has been chosen to lead the New York City Department of Correction. The mayor's office says he has decades of criminal justice experience and previously worked as a first deputy mayor at the Department of Correction. Okay. But now, in fact, he's the first formerly incarcerated individual. Don't clean your ears. You heard me right. The first formerly incarcerated individual to hold the high-level position of the same department that incarcerated him. This is your mayor, Mayor Mamdani.
Stanley will make history in this role as the first ever formerly incarcerated person to serve as commissioner. That achievement is not merely symbolic. It is a testament to the thought and leadership he will bring to every member of corrections staff and incarcerated New Yorkers underneath his purview. And as the former first deputy commissioner for the DOC and the executive vice president of the Fortune Society, that work has long been Stanley's purpose.
When we provide support, when we center our collective work on hope instead of fear, when we see what is best in all of us instead of judging people on the worst thing that they've ever done, when we see our commonality as opposed to our difference, we can achieve the unimaginable.
So you just heard the new correction commissioner saying that we shouldn't judge people on the worst thing they've ever done, right? Okay, second chance is cool. But if you committed murder, should we not be judging you on the worst thing that you've ever done? I guess we have a social worker as the New York City correction commissioner. Let's hope that police commissioner Jessica Tisch stays in the job. Can you imagine what he'll do with that job if she leaves? You want it, Mamdani. You got him. Deal with it. Deal with it. With the help of another candidate in the race, we're stuck with this loser for the next 4 years. And where's that other candidate? Peep, you don't hear nada. Nada. Whatever's in the dark shall come to light. Remember I said it, 800-848-9222. So, Bill Maher, on his show, we're about to start with your telephone calls, your live calls. Bill Maher made this comment a few days ago, and he's calling Mamdani a straight-up communist.
It matters that the mayor stands by, and so I assume stands with, someone who says things like, if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize private property, it's over. Seize private property. Home ownership is racist. Elect more communists. Private property, especially home ownership, is a weapon of white supremacy. Really? Even among the 20 million black Americans who own their own home? I mean, these are the kind of utterances I might forgive as something a dumb white girl said while she was at Bryn Mawr. Because it's the kind of privilege hating you can only learn for $95,000 a year. But these are statements made as an adult. Yes, for co-eds from elite private colleges, you're only a lesbian until graduation, but the communism lasts a lifetime. Democrats seem to be having this debate whether or not Mayor Mamdani is a socialist or a democratic socialist. Let me settle it. He's a straight-up communist. How do I know this? Well, I'm reading between the lines when one of his major advisors says, elect more communists, which is fine. It's fine. It's a belief system. He's allowed to believe it, and people are allowed to vote for it. But if liberals deny it, like he's just going through a goth phase, they're going to lose more elections. This is not a communist country. And this is the pendulum never lands in the middle problem I'm always bitching about. Really, the choices we get here are either the worst version of crony capitalism or communism, either a side deal for the Trump family every time he does business overseas, or the lady who says, impoverish the white middle class. Oh, yeah, there's a great campaign slogan for you. Honestly, as New York mayoral races go, I was less creeped out by Anthony Weiner's.
Oh, well then. And while we're batting 1,000, 800-848-9222, while we're batting 1,000 here, collectively, we're on the same team. New Yorkers versus Mamdani, and we're losing. It's the top of the first inning, and we're being blown out 15-0, if you want to put this in perspective. And so, but while we're talking about losers here, let's bring in Don Lemon, right? We got to do that. Don Lemon is now warning MAGA that they have awakened a sleeping giant after he was arrested. This dude and his ego is out of control.
I have so many thoughts, and what this did was really open my eyes to a lot. So if you think that I was outspoken before this, just wait. Just wait. So I know that there are people who think like, oh, do this and, that I'm going to be locked up or whatever. I ain't worried about that. You heard the truth and the truth shall make you free. I ain't even worried about that. Like not. Don't even think about it. So whatever happens, I always think that something good is always going to happen. And something usually good always happens if you have that mindset. Thank you very much.
And yes, Don, something good always happens. You and I, we share that sentiment. You are 1,000% correct. Reporting live from Cell Block H at Federal Penitentiary, it's the Don Lemon Show. Here's Don. Oh, wait, Don can't take your calls right now. You can't make any phone calls to the prison. Don, you got problems, dude. You're going to jail. This is what President Trump had to say about Mr. Lemon aboard Air Force One.
No, I don't know anything about the Don Lemon thing, but he's a sleazebag. Everyone's known that. He's a washed-up. Probably, from his standpoint, the best thing that could happen to him, he's getting, he had no viewers. He was a failure. He was a failed host. And now he's in the news. I didn't know anything about it.
Well, you just heard President Trump refer to Mr. Lemon as a sleazebag. I've heard that many a times. You just heard the president refer to Mr. Lemon as washed up. I've heard that a million times. But new life, right? I'm talking about him right now, right? 800-848-9222. Let's go to Chris, line 5, Bethpage, New York. What's on your mind, Chris?
Hey, Dominic. Great show as always. I was talking to Governor Cuomo earlier today. He's a great addition to your, I don't know if you heard him.
Can we focus on what? Can we focus on, I don't like to focus on other shows. Can we focus on whatever you're calling about here, Chris?
Yeah, well, I want to call and say that as far as Mamdani goes, I think, like you said, the first week into it, or whatever it is, first 2 weeks, he's a complete failure. And I want to know what all the people that voted for him are right now thinking, seriously. Where are the free buses? Where's the garbage pickup? Where are all the things that a mayor is supposed to do? And I want to know, I want a truthful caller who actually voted for this guy to say, hey, this, just give me an assessment of this guy. This guy is a total disaster.
Chris, you know they're not going to be honest. You know they're not going to be honest. Yeah. At all. But I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't know where your comment was going, because a lot of times I get asked, so go ahead and you were going to make a comment about Governor Cuomo. A lot of times I get asked about earlier shows, and if I didn't hear the show, I can't respond to something someone said. But go ahead with your comment.
I will say this. I spoke with Governor Cuomo. I called him up. He was great. He thinks this is a debacle. As you know, he ran against Mamdani, and he points out things in factual terms.
He ran against them? Really?
Yeah, I know. You would never know it from Curtis.
Well,
I know.
Cuomo would have been the mayor. Cuomo would have been the mayor.
He should have been the mayor.
And right now, I'd be blasting him like there's no tomorrow over the nursing home scandal, perhaps over other issues, but he would be the mayor. He would be the mayor right now. It was he would have closed the gap. Momentum would have pushed him over the top. I bet my life on it. He would have been the mayor of New York City. And, he might be the devil in terms of a lot of people may not like him, but he'd have did much better than this. It can't get any worse than this. Chris, Dominic, you have the final word before I move on.
The final word, and I'll say this, 100% that Cuomo, I got to give him credit. He said he's a middle-of-the-road Democrat. He's not a leftist, and he is against these socialists. He was talking more against the socialists than he was against the Republicans and Trump. So I love the addition. That's what I'm going to say is Cuomo's great. He's speaking out against the far left, and he says right now there's two Democratic parties. There's the socialist left, and there's the mainstream Democrats like himself. So what I'm saying is I think this is all good for the Republicans because the Democratic Party is completely out of whack right now, completely.
Right. Chris, thank you for the wonderful call. Let's go to Susan in Corning, New York. Susan, what's on your mind?
Dominic, I know, you have a great history of, what happened to Mayor Giuliani, Mayor Bloomberg. When we had these, we have winter, and I lived in New York City, in Brooklyn for, all those decades. I don't recall, and I want to know what your feeling is. I don't recall individuals being frozen, dying on the streets from, frostbite. Yeah. So, because Mayor Giuliani, I saw something in the Post how he reiterated when the temperatures got near freezing that they didn't say like, well, if they don't want to leave, if they don't want to leave on their own, then we're just going to leave them. And that Mamdani had this. It was all in the New York Post this week.
Okay, I got it. Yeah. Susan, wait, you're rambling. What's the point you're trying to make?
So the point is that this is a very huge atrocity that to show, just like in the first 2 weeks, how Mamdani is incompetent or worse, that he left these people. He said, they're not a harm to themselves, but they are a harm to themselves if they're not in their right mind. He left them on the street.
I got it, Susan. I got it. But you can complain from now until the next 3.5 years. He's still the mayor of New York. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I know you live in upstate Corning, but it does not matter. Frankly, what we have to say, he's got a 4-year term, and there's nothing that any of us can do unless he does something criminal and a prosecutor removes him from the office of mayor. Governor Hochul will never remove him. She's afraid of Mamdani, especially in an election year. He's got he's the king on a board of chess, and we're all pawns or rook or castle, whatever the case may be. We're not even the queen piece next to Mamdani. This is his world, and I'm serious when I say that. This is his world. I hope that Jessica Tisch never quits. God only knows who this man may appoint as the police commissioner. We see all your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This National Foster Care Month, Marine Toys for Tots is providing hope to children who need it most. Staff Sergeant James Caldwell, who grew up in foster care himself, shares that while handing out gifts at a Toys for Tots distribution event, a little girl looked up at him, reached into her bag, pulled out a stuffed animal and said, "Someone needs to make sure you get a toy too." That simple gesture embodies the heart of Marine Toys for Tots, ensuring every child, including those in foster care, experiences the kindness that can transform their future. Visit toysfortots.org today.
Class dismissed.
This class again?
Don't sit in courses you've already taken. University of Phoenix accepts eligible transfer credits and has a scholarship for transfer students. Finish your degree faster.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So in a minute, I'm going to line one. It says here that Mark in Manhattan wants to defend Mamdani. We'll see how well that goes over in just a minute or two. But first, the race for governor of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul, it's clear that she is afraid of Mamdani. On the chessboard, he's the king. She's a rook, maybe a pawn, like the rest of us. And it's clear one of her campaign issues against Bruce Blakeman, this guy's got a great shot at winning, is going to be the ICE issue.
In a state in America, there was a young couple that had just taken their 1-month-old baby to apply for a U.S. passport as a U.S. citizen. And ICE agents surrounded the vehicle, pulled over. Bitter cold, they smashed the driver's side window to extract the father and left the mother and the baby surrounded in glass inside the vehicle, left them alone in the cold, bitter temperatures. A 1-month-old? Freezing? I'm a mom. I'm a grandma. I got a six-month-old grandbaby. You know how hard people work to save and protect their children? And you expose them like that? My God, what has happened to this country? What has happened here? We're taking steps today. We're standing up and saying who we are. But can we just remember we're America?
And I want you folks to remember it's an election year. So as a result of what the governor just said, she says that New York State, that local law enforcement in New York, she's proposing a bill. She's going to make this happen. According to the governor, not cooperating even further, going further in terms of not cooperating with ICE.
So today, with this proposal, we're sending a strong message to ICE. You will not weaponize local police officers against their own communities in the state of New York. You will not use our police technology to track people who've done nothing wrong. We will not throw innocent people into our jails. Local police will continue to help federal agents track down violent criminals. This never has changed. It never will change. But what I don't want them doing, and they will no longer do, is aid armed forces who think they can occupy our streets, scare our children, round up our neighbors separated and rounded up just because of the color of their skin.
So what Governor Hochul just said, Mamdani supporters, please vote for me. That's what she really just said, the governor of the state of New York. But on Mamdani, she sat down with Melissa Russo of Channel 4, talking the budget situation. And the governor, she finds herself in a pickle because Mamdani knows he couldn't deliver on anything. So what does he do? He comes out last week and rings the alarm bell. $12 billion budget gap, unlike any budget gap ever before. It's Eric Adams' fault. Dun, dun, dun. That's what Mamdani does, putting the pressure on the legislature and Governor Hochul. He knows that she needs him a whole lot more than he needs her in this election year. This was part of the conversation.
So Mayor Mamdani has said that he doesn't think that wealthy people and corporations would actually leave if their taxes go up. Do you disagree with that?
It's not a gamble I want to take because we're already down about $13 billion in revenues from people who did leave our state. And when asked, many of them do complain about the taxes in New York, something I'm trying to do something about.
Okay, I want to go to Rose and Long Island, but first, maybe my eyes deceive me here. It says line 1, Mark in Manhattan, he wants to defend Mamdani. I don't know if that's humanly possible, but let's see what Mark has. Line 1, Mark, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. I'm a fan of yours, and I wouldn't exactly put it like I want to defend Mamdani. However, you know, the press in general, and you have been talking about the poor job he's done with the snowstorm, and of course all the terrible ramifications, and people have died. I mean, it's really awful. However, we don't know exactly what he's been doing wrong. In other words, maybe he's doing a good job with the snowstorm. I mean, this is a natural event. I mean, I'm the first one to be critical of him because I'm very unhappy that he's elected.
Wait. So, Mark, then why under previous mayors have we not lost 13 people from a single event?
Well, because what about the event? Have we had sustained temperatures this low for this length of time? Have we had, each event is different. I'm saying maybe he's doing as effective a job as it can be done with this storm.
Well, wait a minute,
maybe
Mark.
Not.
Mark, is he doing an effective job when he ordered the police to stand down and not remove? This is a policy of his to not take down the encampments. So you're intentionally leaving them on the street. That's doing a good job?
Well, did people die that were in encampments? Some of the fatalities?
Okay, if they weren't in encampments, Mark, then they couldn't have died from hypothermia, correct?
Well, did any people die as a result of being in encampments or from the policy of not taking them off the street?
Okay, Mark, let's look at this. So if you leave... Eric Adams' policy was that in most mayors, Giuliani and so on, it was not compassionate to leave them on the street, right? And especially in weather like this. They normally, once it reaches a certain temperature, they round you up whether you want to go or not. Under this mayor, he says, leave them. And 13 died.
That makes sense, but was it because of that policy that caused the deaths? If that's so, then he deserves a lot more criticism than I've even heard. If that's so,
well, it's coming, but what he's doing now, he's playing the medical examiner game, and I've tried to explain this to the audience for years. How mayors you can make dead bodies disappear in terms of body count. And how you make dead bodies disappear is a simple call to the medical examiner. Do me a favor, or you may have your first deputy do it. I need you to reclassify this as under investigation. And the number doesn't come back until a month or two later, and thus your body, poof, it's gone in terms of the count.
You're making the most critical point there, and that is I wasn't aware of that. And if because of his ill-conceived policies caused this kind of result, then pile on him. He deserves it. He's
not the only one that deserves it. There's a third candidate in the race that deserves it more than Mamdani, but he doesn't exist anymore. Thank you for the call, Mark. The third candidate deserves it more than Mamdani because the third candidate made this possible, knowing that he had no chance in hell of becoming mayor of New York, ever. It was all a game, a charade, end of story. And now we're stuck with this loser as the mayor of New York City, who isn't even qualified to be in the assembly. And he's the mayor of New York City. Rose, line 5, Long Island. What's on your mind, Rose?
Hi, Dominic. I just want to say in relation to Don Lemon, he's past his prime, this guy. It's time for him to just go to jail, and we'll forget about him. Now, isn't that one of the things he said, right? That got him taken off the air?
Yeah, but he's very flamboyant. He thinks the world is all about him, and he was gonna pout and do whatever he had to do to be center of attention. He thinks he's Nelson Mandela, and and if you even bring up the subject to those on the left, First Amendment. You don't have a First Amendment right to disrupt someone's church service while they're worshiping. You don't have that right. But, you can't say anything to my friends on the left because they're completely delusional. Go ahead, Rose.
Oh, and as far as Mamdani is concerned, I call him Ted Mack in the amateur hour. No offense to Ted Mack, because he doesn't know what he's doing. He just by his appointments alone. And quite frankly, I think he and Hochul are going to come head to head and argue about so many things. And
it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
So we'll see how that pans out.
She made a big mistake endorsing him. She should have just held. She should have held out, and she should have did a Schumer on him. Wait until the 11th hour, because now he clearly knows you need me. I don't need you, and he's going to show his behind.
Now, as far as ICE is concerned, the government has an inordinate amount of resources at their disposal. For example, when the General Assembly comes here, Secret Service is the lead. They get agents from every agency, and they help out. It's usually 2 weeks, and they coordinate it well. They make sure everybody has the same radio frequency. And the communication as well. So if they don't want to help ICE out, then I suggest Uncle Sam, provides the backup they need. That's it. I mean, I think it's a disgrace, and I know the cops would want to do it. The cops are great here in New York. They're just told to stand down, and that's wrong. Just like they did in Minneapolis with that other knucklehead over there.
I agree with you, Rose. Unfortunately, the world's greatest police force, the NYPD, is often told to stand down. And under Mamdani, because they would have been the first line defenders getting the homeless off the street in this bad weather. But the mayor says, leave them. It's compassionate to leave them on the street. So Mayor Mamdani, to the 14 families of these homeless people, why don't you go explain that to them? Of how your failed social policies kept them alive. Yeah. Rose, thank you for the wonderful call. Let's go to Pete, line 3, Staten Island. Pete, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, I tell you, I never seen such a terrible snow removal. I mean, they piled the snow up in front of the driveways like they did it deliberately. The plow only went down the street the one way. They used to come down the opposite way. And I got out of my driveway with a blowtorch. A friend of mine, I have a welder's license, which I haven't used in years, and my friends came over and we got out with a blowtorch to cut the snow that was piled about 3 feet in front of the driveways. Now, I had that option. So my neighbors, we went over. Everyone, instead of getting a plow, they paid my friends to get themselves out of the driveway. This shouldn't be. This is the only way that I got out. But I had the resources to do it, and not necessary. I mean, they were supposed to go on, melt some of the snow, remove it, like they always did. But what is it? Money. So he's saving money for the city. You don't hear him hiring any people to be shoveling. You used to hear that ad all over the place every time it snowed. And now the snow can't be removed. It's frozen solid. There's walls. This is horrible. People are dying. Ambulances can't get through the blocks. People are double parking because they're frustrated. And what can I say? This guy should really, really be ashamed of himself, because he's doing a terrible job. I don't even know who the snow commissioner on. We should at least get an entered one.
Well, the commissioner, the acting commissioner, looks like a straight up and down DEI hire. Therein lies the problem. He's Latino, I believe, but he looks like a straight up and down DEI hire. And that's the commissioner, the acting commissioner of sanitation. Under Jessica Tisch, the now police commissioner, Pete, that used to be sanitation commissioner, I just don't see this happening. I don't see, again, going back to John Lindsay, look at how he almost paid, in terms of his mayoralty. I think he had to run on the third line in order to win. You would think, Mom, this is his first major test, and he failed. How bad is the snow? I've seen in other boroughs. It's awful. How bad is it on Staten Island?
It is terrible. It's a crime. I mean, people are dying. That people are trying to get out, chop up their snow to get out to get to doctors and everything. And it's even worse in Queens. I was to Douglaston. I went out there to help out my friend. He had punch break at his restaurant. And, I can't even explain to you how bad it is. I mean, I have my friend that calls your show, Harold, and he's blind with a CNI dog. The guy can't even get out of his house. He travels through the subway, not afraid of anything. He's got guts like you've never seen to do what he does. And he can't get around. And he's skilled. I mean, that dog is so smart. He was talking to Governor Patterson when we had the pleasure of being up at your building there for when Vinnie Madunio did the concert for the Christmas party there. And I mean, this is criminal. This mayor, I'm so upset. I figured in the beginning, give him a chance, but what chance? He's destroying. He don't even think about running again. I mean, if he wins after 4 years and runs, believe me, I'll you know what, in Macy's window.
Pete, listen to me. If you have two candidates splitting the opposition vote, he will win again. And one has to wonder. I got to take a break, Pete. Thank you for the call. One has to wonder if Mamdani will be behind one of these opposition candidates to make sure that the vote is split. That question is being asked about this race. Just look at the debates. One of the candidates was a lead blocker for Mamdani and went after Cuomo at all costs and gave Mamdani a free ride. Don't believe me? Go back and look at the tapes. Time for a break. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So, Bad Bunny, Bugs Bunny, performing at the Super Bowl coming up very soon. Very, very soon. Next Sunday. And I was trying to stay away from the Grammys. Oh, it's the big night. I'll focus on it a little bit next hour. But Bad Bunny, who performs in Spanish, he's a mega star. I don't know how that's going to work at the Super Bowl. He likes to wear dresses sometimes when he performs. I don't know how that's going to work at the Super Bowl. But Bad Bunny said ice out at the Grammys and received a massive standing ovation. I don't want to get into exactly what he said and so on, but that's Bad Bunny. And at one point he even said, I don't know the English word for this word, and then he said it in Spanish. So, Matt Blaze, before I go back to the other calls, help me out here. The Super Bowl is next Sunday, correct, Mundo?
That's what they're telling me.
Okay.
I don't know.
So how's this going to work with Bad Bunny?
I don't think people are into it. I mean, I know they're trying to get like a younger audience, and Bad Bunny is a megastar, superstar, world star in music, not just Latin music, just in music. I think that's what they're going for, I guess. But people watch for the halftime show. They used to. People used to watch for the commercials. Well, now they show the commercials before the Super Bowl's even on. And the same thing with Bad Bunny. Like they're gonna have the spoiler of what he's gonna do or what he's gonna say. And look, it's drumming up all of this buzz, right? So even if you don't like Bad Bunny, you're still gonna watch just so you can criticize Bad Bunny.
Now, should we be surprised if he wears a dress? I mean, there was Boy George first.
I don't think he wears a dress because of him being any kind of sexuality or androgynous or anything like that. I think he does it just to do it. Like you could gender fluid, meaning you could just wear anything. It doesn't matter anymore. Dresses shouldn't be just for women, I guess, is sort of like what's out there now. I mean, I'm not going to,
So I should come in to work tomorrow and I could wear a dress and.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time. Would it be, Dominic?
Touche. That's good. That's good. I did it in college.
So you say.
I did it in college, and that was it. And I don't know about wearing those bras. I had on a bra for 15 minutes, and oh boy, get this thing off of me.
Ow.
Ow, But anyway, so Bad Bunny, Bugs Bunny. A week from today. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Matt Blaze. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Let's go here. Let's see here. Let's go to Michael, line 4 in Queens. Michael, what's on your mind?
Hello, Dominic. Good evening, sir. I'd like to make commentary upon Mamdani.
Hey, Michael, okay, do me a favor. We don't have to set up. Just go ahead and say what you have to say.
Understood. Thank you, sir. Mamdani, you said the other day this would be his first test as mayor. I would revise that and say it is his first test as illusion of mayor. Mamdani wants the policies to fail. It's designed to fail. The reason for it is a restructuralization.
Wait. Michael, you really think that he wants to go down as a loser?
No. It is not he. He is simply a scripted face for an aligned force that is devised itself upon the destruction of American system democracy. It's a universal affair. There are enemies and an entire accord against Donald Trump, President Trump, the United States way of life that is universally being dictated by individuals all over the planet. We know this. Mamdani is a face for a political force now that is simply masquerading outside of a religious supplantation. It wants to replace what the policy basis will be for belief in America, and that would set the standard for following for American citizens that would no longer be American citizens. They would be now a formed chord for an entire belief system. This is not the first time it is. I'm a student of history. It has happened throughout other histories and even mighty Rome once fell under the same state of affairs because once their diplomatic system became replaced by an entirely different belief system through religious accords, Rome fell. Other civilizations did the same. It is something that a renegade force, a renegade band, will see as a systematic approach to dismantle. It's like landscape to construction policies. No matter what you do on renovations, they are only for a particular time to give an appearance of things on the outside surface. But if you don't renovate or you don't encapsulate the entire landscape, the entire terrain will then go ahead and destroy those renovations. That's exactly what this policy is about. It's to give the appearance that things will happen or things can happen. It is like a escape artist, like Houdini. No matter what he did, if he went ahead and built a greater degree of suspense or conditions surrounding a particular escape, even if it had the same line of danger involved to it, it seemed more daring, more risque, more adventurous, and more skillful. Mamdani sets up situations. If Mamdani sets up situations to appear that they're very critical, he has that 4-term plan, as you have noted correctly. He then can come in and lay a policy that could rectify and then seem as if though he's the most brilliant political analyst or political ambassador who has come along in the recent generation, which will bring a bigger following.
Well, and fair enough. I hear you, Michael. I got to move on to other calls. I hear you. Thank you for the comment. Let's go to Roberta, Staten Island, line 3. What's on your mind, young lady? Is Roberta with me? Okay, Roberta's not there. Let's go to Max, line 1 in Manhattan. Oh, okay. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Staten Island is a forgotten borough. As much as you complain about the subway, we were supposed to have one about 200 years ago, and they stopped it. And I don't know why, but we're stranded here. I mean, if something on the bridge,
but Roberta, you're focusing on. When I'm not talking about Staten Island being a forgotten borough right now. I'm talking about snow. So what is your point about that?
Okay. Listen, I lived through a lot of major snowstorms, and the reason why this is so bad is because it's so cold out. We've been lucky a lot.
So
of
you're
times
telling me it's not. You're telling me it's not Mamdani's fault. Is that what you're telling me?
Right. I mean, look, it's his fault that he hires crazy people that want to destroy this country.
So Roberta, if you know the weather is cold, okay, you're just talking. Let's lower her, please. If you know the weather is going to be cold, then you get the snow up before it gets hard. You don't have to be Einstein to figure that out. This guy is the worst thing to ever happen to New York, and he's just getting started. Mamdani, hour number 2 is coming up. Stay with us, folks.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
When you want your spring break to feel like... and your kids' pool day to feel like... and your hotel bed to feel like... ooh, and room service to feel like... because at Hilton, hospitality feels like...
Your cabana's ready. Would you like fresh towels?
It matters where you stay. Book now at Hilton.com. Hilton, for the stay.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
ABC's David Muir, the most trusted anchor in America, the most watched anchor in America. Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir the #1 newscast in America. Most trusted, most watched. David Muir on ABC.
Tax Act is here anytime you want to easily file your taxes. Tax Act is here for the early birds who like to knock them out as soon as the season opens. And for the procrastinators who like to wait until the very last minute. Tax Act is also here for the middlers who file right in the middle of tax season. No one ever talks about the middlers, but Tax Act sees you, and Tax Act respects you. Tax Act. Let's get them over with.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Senator Rand Paul on 60 Minutes tonight. And the senator says the Department of Homeland Security, ICE, must, in his words, quote, restore trust after the Minneapolis shootings of Miss Good, of Mr. Preddy. But folks, let's look at this logically. It's the Democrats with their rhetoric that's lighting this fire nonstop, and it's the community that's agitating the process. None of this would have happened if these folks, yes, you have a First Amendment right to be out there, but you don't have a right to interfere in the actions of federal agents. Plus, Senator John Fetterman making the correct argument that it's ridiculous to ask ICE agents to unmask. If you're throwing frozen water bottles at them, if you're doing all types of things, if you're harassing them, if you're storming a church because you believe the pastor works with ICE, and you're harassing their wives, their husbands, their children, what else are they supposed to do? Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach us from around the country, 800-848-9222. We start with 60 Minutes, Senator Rand Paul.
Who can you kill, and when can you kill them? Those are questions Republican Senator Rand Paul is asking after the death of 2 people in Minneapolis at the hands of federal immigration officers.
You seem to be saying trust is broken.
Without question.
How can trust be restored?
What's at stake?
Public confidence in our rule of law in general.
So I want to know, what is ICE supposed to do, these federal agents, with the attack that they are under? 800-848-9222. Senator Rand Paul continuing on 60 Minutes. Listen to this dance. He says that each side should basically come to the table. But listen to this political talk, this dance.
The families of Renee Good and Alex Preddy are seeking the truth, and I wonder what you would say to them in this moment.
It's hard to know, what to say, and I'm not sure exactly how to respond to the emotions of it. I think that no one who is protesting, deserves to be shot. Should the police have de-escalated? Absolutely. Could the people have de-escalated? Yes. None of it justifies what happened, but there were off-ramps all along here. There were off-ramps, and neither side chose to choose those off-ramps.
So that sounds wonderful. But society has been told Mr. Preddy was a saint. And then we see the video of him spitting 11 days earlier at agents in the car. And then he's so angry that he kicks twice, and he's able to kick out their tail light. So are they supposed to ignore that? That's not an answer for someone to end up dead. So they got out of the vehicle. He got roughed up a little bit. They tried to restrain the situation. And, they clearly wasn't looking to harass him, because if they were, they would have found the gun behind his back in his pants, in which we see the gun on video. And so the Grammys tonight, right? And one of the performers, they're falling over each other. This Ice Out, Bad Bunny, and all of them, right? So this is a performer, Kalani.
I hope everybody's inspired to join together as a community of artists and speak out against what's going on. And I'm going to leave this and say, ICE.
So, Senator Paul, that's the community that people should reach out to? She continued with her remarks.
I really wanted to say ICE, but I think they needed some couth on the carpet or something. I'm a little couthless, ruthless. But I think everybody, we're too powerful of a group to all be in the room at the same time and not make some kind of statement in our country. It's brainless to me. What I want to make sure that I say is that everybody is so powerful in this room and in this room later. And together we're stronger in numbers to speak against all the injustice going on in the world right now. Yeah. So instead of letting it be just a couple few here and there, I hope everybody's inspired to join together as a community of artists and speak out against what's going on. And I'm going to leave this and say, ICE.
Now that's just nice. That's just wonderful. So, young lady, you would never be out there protesting. I would imagine you're not. You're too busy pimping people, making money right off of your music. You wouldn't be out there, young lady, right? But you're going to urge these people that are not too strong in will or mind to do something that could get them killed. That's just wonderful. That's just very, very responsible. But the voice of common will, of trying to bridge the gap in many issues as of late, has been Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania. And Fetterman is slamming Democrats. I want you to hear this, and then I'm going to start with your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. Fetterman is slamming Democrats for demanding ICE agents be unmasked.
Focus on the secure our border, deport all the criminals, and that we can figure out now. And I also say now, some of the agents wearing masks, I think primarily that's driven by people are going to dox those people. That's a serious concern too. Absolutely. They could target their families, and they are organizing these people to put their names out there. So don't ever dox people and target their families too. So that's part of the churn as well now too.
Okay. With the time we have left, I have a couple other topics.
Well, that was Senator John Fetterman in a television interview. We see your calls coming in, 800-848-9222. Let's go to Silas, line 1, Staten Island, New York. Silas, what's on your mind?
Yeah, when 60 Minutes asked Rand Paul what he'd say to them, you tell them just like I would tell everybody, stay away from these demonstrations the same way I'll tell you, stay away from joining the Bloods or the Crips because your children can get killed. Do not deal with this.
Correct.
Everybody knows that this is organized by people who are trying to bring down the country, and they want to make people scared of ever becoming a policeman. They want to make people scared of ever becoming a DEA agent, and that's how they're going to win and get your attention off of what they're doing, how they're stealing our money. And when you see what they did in California, they told people that they were dying from a certain illness so that they could keep them in a hospital and soak the insurance companies. I mean, the schemes that they're using to fleece our money are crazy. And Fry and Tampon Tim are as guilty as sin, and you're going to find that out when the Justice Department gets to the bottom of it. I don't know why 60 Minutes is not. There's such investigative reporters. Then why don't they go and investigate Fry? Why don't they investigate Tampon Tim? He's working with the hotel people to stop them from even getting hotel rooms. He happens to be tied in with the Hilton family, Tampon Tim. When we get to the bottom of all of this, you're going to see. But the main thing is, like I'm telling black people to stay away from this, make sure it's only stupid white liberals who are at these demonstrations. Keep your kids and your sons, your daughters, even your parents away from these demonstrations.
Solid advice, Silas. Thank you for the call. Let's go to line 3, Pam in New Jersey. What's on your mind, Pam?
Well, hi, Dominic. I love your show.
Thank you.
I don't have a personal opinion because I have not seen any videos because I don't have cable, so I don't have TV. But I'm just going by what I hear. And I heard today that that Trump did say that ICE does make mistakes, so he wants a full investigation. He's not taking sides. So when I heard that, then I'm kind of open-minded until they totally have an investigation. Because like I said, I don't have a personal opinion. So I guess they're waiting for the body camera to be seen. So I'm looking forward to hearing what that happens to be.
ICE agents don't have body cameras unless there's something new that's happened here. But thank you for the great call, Pam. I see here I have a critic on line 5, Jeff in Harlem. Let's see what Jeff has to say. Good morning, Jeff. What's on your mind?
How you doing?
Good.
I'm just a little peeved because I listen to your show every now and then. I don't listen to it a lot.
Okay.
But I don't see your angle on how you're helping, especially New York City, because you're always trying to help white people and you're always downing black people. And you have guys on your, I guess if he comes on, that John Fetterman. He don't know what he wants to be, a Democrat or a Republican. He's a weird dude. And what you're doing...
So he's weird because he's not saying what he's weird. Wait. No. You can't go on forever. You can't go on forever. He's weird because he's not saying what you want him to say. That's why he's weird, right?
No, I'm just... Yeah, he's a weird dude. Why would you dislike Republicans, but all of a sudden you like them?
Wait. Wait. Who said I dislike Republicans?
I said John Fetterman. I didn't say.
Oh, you're talking about Fetterman now.
I know you love Republicans. You don't like them. You love them. So let's stop that. You love them.
Well, let me ask you a question. And you know what? If you don't mind holding, wait a minute. If you don't mind holding, I have to do another short segment. I really would like to come back to your call because we need to smooth the air and get this out once and for all, because I'm telling you, young man, I don't know how old you are, Why are you on that Democrat plantation? I want you to think about that. And if you can hold for a few minutes, we will discuss it. I'll come right back to your call. Folks, Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. We are going to take a short break. We're going to come right back to Jeff in Harlem. Stay with us.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back, going to line 5, Jeff in Harlem. Jeff, you had a few minutes to think about this. And so it says here on my screen, and you basically said it, that you don't understand it. You think why I'm always, quote, in your words, helping white people and always against black people. That's what you just said. So is it possible that the Democrat Party is a plantation that's pimping people of color? Is that possible or no?
That would be your interpretation of it, not
mine. No. We didn't ask for my interpretation. I'm asking you.
Well, I'm giving it to you.
You're telling me. Now, I don't have all day to play games with you. I'm asking you for your opinion. Is it possible? Answer the question. Don't duck. Answer the question.
I'm not ducking the question.
So answer the question. Is it possible? You're trying to go off into something else. Answer the question.
25 people that listen to you.
Okay, answer the question.
Because this is dumb.
Answer the question.
Give me a good question.
That is okay. You don't. This is called the Dominic Carter Show. You don't get to decide the topics.
So give me one.
Okay, I just gave you one. Listen, fool. If I'm taking your call, listening to this now, cut him off. He's done.
Dominic is done with you.
I hate ignorant people. And there's nothing more ignorant than people in my own community that can't see what's right in front of them. I just gave a speech hours ago. Go to my Twitter page at Dominic TV, and you'll see where I gave a full speech at the Capitol in Albany, New York today about how the black community should say goodbye for a while to the Democrat Party. That it's nothing but a plantation. So that fool didn't want to answer the question because he knows it's a plantation. So what I was going to hit him next with was, but see, he didn't. All he wants to do is attack me. It was part of my speech today. When you don't have anything else to say, oh, Uncle Tom, you love white people. No, I'm tired of seeing my people suffer when it doesn't have to happen. When are you going to wake up? Don't nobody owe you nothing. I'm being real right now. Not all, some. Most black people in America get up, go to work, and they agree 1,000% with what I'm saying. Chris Rock told it best when he said, I love black people, but oh, do I hate. And he told the truth. I love my black people, but oh, do I hate. And you know what the next word is, which I would never say. And I'm proud of the fact that my kids have never said the N word in front of me. And they know there would be hell to pay if they did. I'm tired of having these arguments. Black people across America drop and die like flies. And this fool is calling up here, harassing me, telling me that I do things to like white people. It's not about white people. It's about at what point do you lift yourself up and stop being so ignorant? At what point do you stop black males shooting each other? At what point do you stop getting Keisha pregnant for the sake of getting Keisha pregnant? At what point do we wake up? Or do we stay stuck on stupid and dumb for the rest of our lives? Wake up. Ken, line 3, New York. What's on your mind, Ken?
Hey, Dominic, listen, I agree with you 100%. And one thing about this guy, this idiot talking to you, to be quite honest with you, seriously, he had no counter, what's the right word? He had no counter words to answer your question. So
hey, Ken, do me a favor, Ken. I got to take a break. I got to do another short segment. Please hold on. I want to talk to you as soon as we come back. So please do that for me, Ken. Don't hang up. I've got to take a break. The number to reach us, 800-848-9222. Dominic Carter here with you. As soon as we come back, I'm going to Ken, line 3, New York.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And let's go back live to line 3, Ken in New York. Ken, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No problem, Dominic.
So now,
you got no control of
tell
that.
me again, what's your point? I was listening to you.
Don, I was just saying to you, listening to a previous call, and you couldn't have said it more plainly when Chris Rock said, you got black folks and you have Slash. I'll sound like you. So the thing is, you couldn't have said no better. The one thing about it, it's hard to reason with a rabbit. Honestly, it's hard. And the thing is, this guy here, what he was saying, honestly, it made no sense at all. However, the previous caller, he made a lot of sense when he was saying that you got the white liberals, black folks, you get involved in that madness, which we shouldn't. The thing is, when you get involved with that, when ICE or Border Patrol, whoever they lock, grab the ones, you see black folks in that little audience there, grab them first. Lock their asses up, because you got no reason to be out there interfering with the ICE. At the same time, we both know, and I'm going to cut it short, I'm not going to be long-winded, when Trump sat there with the ICE, when Trump sent that group out there to do what they had to do, listen, I'll tell you something. I applaud him 1,000%. ICE, Border Patrol, they did a fantastic job and still doing a good job. You know,
Ken, I want to ask you a question. A question. So I need you to help me understand this. So I would think that let's say I was that last caller and he was the host of the show. I would say to myself, this brother has been out there for 40 years. This brother has seen it all, right? Maybe the fact that this brother is a Republican and is telling people of color to get off that Democrat plantation, maybe he knows something that I don't know. Maybe he's seen something in his life that I haven't seen yet. Why are we so brainwashed? And you can't. So like here's I don't mean this in an offensive way. No,
it's okay. Don,
okay,
please,
so like Kamala Harris.
Oh gosh,
okay.
Jesus.
Nobody in their right mind could vote for this lady. I don't care if she's black. Okay, she was an embarrassment.
Exactly. I say the same thing. Don, you sound like me.
Why can't we see that?
Oh my God, Don. You know what? I want to even add on to it, not to be long-winded. The same thing with this guy's Mamdani. The thing is, you guys chose him. Particularly New Yorkers, you chose him because you know what? You guys all want a free goddamn ride, free bus fare, free. Listen, but guess what? Things didn't turn out the way you guys anticipated. So the thing is, and Kamala Harris, oh my God, you know what? The best thing that ever happened to us to save the country was Trump came in office.
Absolutely.
If we had Kamala Harris and this guy Tampon Tim. Oh my! We have to. I don't know what we have to go.
Explain to me why we're so brainwashed.
You know what, Dom? All I can say is this. You know what? That's a good question. You know what? I'll tell you something. I'm not even calling them Democrats. These Democrats, because they're dumb. These Democrats listen. They're the best magicians on. They're one of the best magicians in the country. And the thing is, even politics, I don't call it politics, I call it politics. There's a lot of tricks in the game. And one thing about them, they're sneaky behind, conniving, overseeing self. They know how to pull a rabbit out of a hat. You know what? If they pull a bird out of a hat, they say, no, that's a rabbit. That's how dumb and brainwashed we are.
But the caller started out saying that I love helping white people.
God. such bullshit. You're a fair, Dom, I'm going to be honest with you, you're a fair person. You're fair across the board. You know what? Look, black folks, stop trying to find an excuse for our shortcomings. Stop throwing that around. You know, that's tiring. The same thing with BLM and all that. It's tiring. You know what? Yeah, the white people. Oh, my God. Stop. Listen, it's not white folks' fault. It's our fault. It's us who make mistakes in dealing with white people, and then we blame ourselves the way we blame them. So the thing is, blame them the way we blame ourselves. So the thing is, stop. Listen, you get so tired of hearing that racist, oh, it's a black, you know what, it's a white man. I'm so tired of hearing that shit. You know, Dom, honestly, man, me, my brothers, all of us, we're not Democrats. At one time we did, I can't lie, we did espouse democracy, but damn it, Democrats.
So did I.
But now I'm Republican. I'll tell you something. And you talking about black folks killing black folks, this last thing, Dom, you know what? This is going to sound kind of crazy. I got to say it. You can delete me if you have to. Listen, for some reason.
Just don't curse, please.
No. You don't worry about that, Dom. For some reason, like, we was better off when the KKK was here. Jesus Christ, the black folks killing each other left and right. And the only way to stop this.
You can't deny that.
Yeah, the only way to stop.
Thank you for the great call, man. I got to move on. Please don't be a stranger. Thank you for the call. And so I gave the caller, I think his name was Jeff, I gave him rope, and just as I suspected, he hung himself. So part of my speech, literally just hours ago, right, that went over very well. If you go to my Twitter, at Dominic TV, you'll see one of the articles that's been done on the speech. Part of my speech, and I'm going to ask you, whatever city, whatever state you're listening to the show in right now, right? And I'm serious when I say this, right? It's a rhetorical question to a degree. What was the party of the president that ended slavery? We already know, Republican. What was the party of the president that started acknowledging Black History Month? It was President Ford, a Republican. What was the party of the president that signed into Black History Month? It was Ronald Reagan. So 3 Republicans. You do the math. 3 Republicans. You do the math. 2 + 2 = 4 the last time I checked. I don't get it. And maybe it's just not for me to get, but I feel sad for young brothers like that caller that is lost. He's not calling me saying, Dom, how do we stop this black on black crime? Dom, how do we get better opportunities to open businesses in our community? He's not saying that. He's calling me saying, why do you like helping white people and not and denouncing black people? But you need to ask young man Chris Rock, the comedian, why he said, I love my black people, but boy, do I hate. You need to ask Chris Rock that. Let's go to line 1. Norman in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, Norman?
Yeah, hi, Dominic. Yeah, I heard the 60 Minutes, of course, picked Rand Paul. Rand Paul is a conservative, I would say an absolute purist. I don't think his politics are actually just work in the real world. His father, Rand Paul's father, he ran for president also. He was also Paul, I forget his first name. But they're libertarians. They believe in things like open borders. They don't believe in any tariffs whatsoever. Trump's a businessman. Trump isn't going to negotiate. He's going to run the country with conservative ideals, but living in the real world ideals. And I don't. Rand Paul, just his name. He was named after Ayn Rand. Okay, which if you ever read like some of Ayn Rand's books, her philosophy is it don't work, in my opinion. They don't believe in charity. They don't believe in. He's kind of a cult guy, if you ask me, Rand Paul. So while I agree with some of the things he has to say, like Second Amendment, it's colored by this guy is not going to get along with Donald Trump in the end.
You know what? I
sort of
agree
like
with you,
Marjorie
Norman.
Taylor Greene.
I agree with you. I got to move on to other calls, but I agree with everything you just said. Thank you for the great call. Let's go to Teddy, line 3, Yonkers, New York. Teddy, what's on your mind?
Oh, yeah, I got a very bad cold.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Crime is terrible and has to be stamped out, and whatever methods that people want to produce that will be effective. I don't care what party it is. Just stamp it out. Okay, and that's all I got to say tonight. All right.
So stamp out the crime. That's what you say, right, Teddy?
Yeah. Yes.
So, Teddy, let me ask you a question. And
Yeah.
I understand you're not of color, but is it possible that the Democrat Party has people of color on a plantation?
Has people of color on a plantation?
Yes.
What? Could you explain yourself by that statement?
What I mean by that is that they are so lost that they just vote Democrat. First of all, it's not wise for any one group to just belong to one party because they take you for granted. They take black votes for granted. They don't deliver anything to black people. They give you a song and a dance, a lot of talk, do nothing. That's what I mean by a plantation.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Well, you could say that at one time when Jews came here, they were all Democrat. They voted Democrat, all of them. Okay? Now it's not the same anymore. You have more Jews that are Republican and Orthodox Jews, too.
So, Teddy, wait, I haven't had an opportunity to talk to you. So we saw the second tape of Mr. Preddy. Does that change your opinion any, where he's spitting at the vehicle and kicking off the taillight?
Let me just say something. I heard attorney Bob Abrams was on Rabbi Potasnik's show this morning, Sunday morning. And he said it wasn't right, but it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant with what and he's a top prosecutor.
It doesn't point to Mr. Preddy's character.
Okay, it could. Yes, but if you're dealing with facts as far as the incident that would happen to him, he's a top prosecutor and defense lawyer. He said it is irrelevant.
Right, he's entitled to his opinion just like anybody else is.
Yeah, but he knows more about the law than you and I.
That's what you say.
That's what I know.
Okay, that's what you say. Is it possible that Mr. Preddy that it just wasn't wise to come to that woman's defense? Is it possible, Teddy?
Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not going to say that. No, he tried to defend the woman. No, when he saw what was happening to the woman, no, I will not say that. It's like saying ignoring when you see something, as the former congressman from Georgia who died. When you see something, say something. When you see something, do something. No, I'm not going to ignore it.
So Teddy, would you have interfered with ICE operations in that situation?
That's a very good question. Depending upon the situation and how I feel, how I feel physically, that's a tough question. I can't answer that.
Okay.
I can't answer that.
We hope you feel better with your cold, and we hope you had a good birthday last weekend. And I'm glad you're back to rare form. After what you've gone through the last couple of months. Teddy, thank you for the call. Let's go to Joaquin, line 4, Pennsylvania. Joaquin, what's on your mind?
Yeah. Hey, good morning. This is good morning, Dominic. You know something? This both sides, there's an acronym for that, right? BS. Excuse me. That's the first letter of each word, BS, and that's what this both sides thing is. And you know something? Unfortunately, if Alex Preddy and Renee Good would have been arrested the first time, especially Alex Preddy, and I'm sure Renee Good was using her car to block ICE in previous instances. I'm sure if they got arrested the first time around, they'd still be alive. And if they impounded vehicles like Renee's Good vehicle when they're indulging in those activities, I'm sure that more people would get the message if they had to pay a $500 impound fee to get their car back out. So the only problem is that since they don't have local enforcement, backing them up, really, the feds, unfortunately, need to go in there, and they need to go in stronger so that they can actually arrest some of these people who are breaking laws. I mean, you can legally protest. Yes, you can carry a gun to a protest, but the second that you decide to engage an officer in a physical confrontation, then you got a problem. And the woman that they pushed to the ground, she was already impeding their operations. So he's interjecting himself into a situation where already she's in the wrong. And so now he's making it even worse. And what are they supposed to do? And I'm sorry, but whenever I hear everybody second guessing, and I'm a little disappointed in the way that Trump is kind of backing down a little bit, because unfortunately, even though we might turn it down on our side, the other side does not do the same thing, and they see it as a win. And believe me, they want to see violent confrontations. They want to see their people get hurt and possibly die, just so that they can win. They can win the argument.
Well, you say you're disappointed in President Trump, quote unquote, backing down a little bit. And thank you for the call, Joaquin. President Trump is always playing chess. So, like, for example, this cozy relationship he has with Mamdani, I know there's something behind it. And the whammy, the big boom is coming down soon. I don't know when, but there's something to this. And so in this type of situation, I think the president knows something. Perhaps it's the midterms that we don't know. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. Let's go to Sandra, line 5, New Jersey. Sandra, good morning. What's on your mind?
Oh, good morning, Dominic. Dominic, I accidentally heard one of the women on The View speak about Preddy, the Preddy guy, the nurse. She said, "Oh my God,
You're referring to Anna Navarro."
Yeah. She said, "Oh, my God, I wish I had him for my daughter. He's so charming. He went to the best school. He's a nurse. He took care of that." I mean, the point I'm making is she was full of shit, pardon my language. I could easily, Dominic, have sat in that same chair and said the same thing. You pay me for what to say, I'm going to say it. That's what I think. It's all a bunch of fake news, and I think that that was a perfect example of someone acting. It's all act. They're all acting, and
they are literally acting. And she made that comment before the second video tape came out, so she had egg on her face.
Yeah. So, anyways, I wanted to say that, and I have to say, I was happy to hear Cuomo on the radio today. I have to say, I think it's very, very good for people now to hear what he has to say, and people are going to start to have regrets that he's not our mayor, and we got this stupid moron as a mayor. I mean, I think it's a good, very, very good thing to have him now to talk to. So I was happy about that. Yep.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Sandra, for the call. Let's go to line 3, Steve in Elmont. Good morning, Steve. What's on your mind?
How you doing, Dominic? Now, I just want to tell you, I do agree with one of the callers that say sometimes you're a little bit harder, more on the black community, and it does seem like you favor the white community more. That being said, that's also why I started listening to your program, because I didn't want to hear someone every day, all day, making excuses and agreeing with everything that's happening that's inappropriately.
Well,
Also,
let me ask you a question, Steve. Let me ask you a question. So you said that I'm sometimes unfair to the black community. Would you say
unfair.
that?
I think you're just not unfair, more hard.
Okay, more hard. Okay. Would you say that of one of my white colleagues? Because
no.
I think what you're really saying is, and I appreciate how respectful you're being. What I think you're really saying is subconsciously, right? And this is not the first time I've heard this. That subconsciously I'm a brother, so I'm supposed to argue the brother point of views. I'm supposed to bend over backwards. But see, Steve,
I don't want that.
Okay, but see, Steve, let me just say this. Nobody knows what I do in my private life. I've spent 20, 30 years mentoring all kids, but black kids. I'm not going to say their names. There are people on television now doing news in New York City because I mentored them, literally on the air. And so I don't know. So when you say sometimes I can be harder on the black community, what does that mean? What does that mean?
So why not? You just asked me about your colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
If your colleagues do that, then I'm okay with it because I expect it from them.
Right. So, okay. So that means you have an unfair expectation of me.
Maybe
that's exactly what it means.
But Dominic, I'm not asking you to say nothing. I said I'm listening to you more because you're not dancing around the issues that's hurting the black community. If someone else does it, I'm just going to be like, oh, it's business as usual. But when you stop and say, hey, and this is what made me start listening to you, you were like, listen, enough of the excuses. Your kids are out at 12 o'clock at night on a school night. What do you think is going to happen? And a lot of black people won't say that. They'll say, well, and come up with an excuse. So, yeah, I do expect you to say what you have to say. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. But what I'm going to say to the black community, when you was talking about the plantation thing.
But just quickly, because we have 20 seconds left. Go ahead.
Okay. But there's two plantations. The Republican Party is also a plantation.
I don't agree with
Lincoln
that.
freed,
I don't agree with that.
But did not want the blacks to be citizens. He's not a friend of blacks. As people history.
But wait, who's not a friend of blacks?
Abraham Lincoln refused and did not want to make black people citizens. He said, "We'll free them because I have no choice."
Well, we'll never officially know the answer to that, Steve. Thank you for the great call. We have to table this conversation for another day. I am coming back, folks, 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll do this all over again. Do me a small favor. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to The Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.